Hello, BookTube and BookTalk. I'll be posting this on both. I've been in a reading frenzy for the past week and a half, and I thought I'd share with you what I have done so far. I did some extreme horror, and I did just regular thriller, and I'll give you a review of one I'm reading right now. Right now, I've done The Tempting of the Mothman. This is where a group of girls go out and they decide they're going to bring up incantations of a Mothman who comes and makes love to someone as a sacrifice, and one of them volunteers, and it tells you all about the what happens to her and everything. Trigger warnings because it's pretty explicit, so just be warned. Then I also read Matt Shaw's Moist Gussets. Again, another erotic horror, but Matt Shaw does a fantastic job with it, and I would highly recommend this to anyone who loves that kind of thing. But anything with Matt Shaw, anything he does is absolutely fantastic. Then I read The Rot again, Stephen Cooper's book. This is where you have different people listening to their inner voice. This voice keeps telling them what to do and how to handle themselves, or what their darkest secrets, and they keep asking, what, and how can I do this, and what's going on, and very good. I hope he writes a sequel to this or continues on with other people's thoughts, because this is absolutely fantastic. I read it again. I've already read it once, and I read it again because it's that good. And you always miss something if you read it again. If you don't get it the first time, you always get it the second time. So I highly recommend this by Stephen Cooper. The other one was Pleasure Max. I'm just going to say this is extreme, and this guy really goes beyond on the body horror and things like that. Oh, quick read, but very good, and I highly recommend it. But just again, trigger warnings. So if there's anything in, read up on it before you even start into it, because I can tell you these things are kind of extreme. Then you have Fistful of Fanny. This is an old lady who's comes out of retirement and does X-rated films. It is very deep and it's very gross, you might say, but very good read, very fast, and highly recommended if you like that kind of stuff. But like I said, trigger warnings again on this one. Roadkill. I used to be a truck driver. Thank God I didn't meet this guy along the road, looking for dead carcasses and things like that, and what he does with them. And then the ending was a surprise too. I didn't think there would be anybody out there who would do this, but this was really gross, and I mean gross. It kind of gives you no idea when you're sitting driving down the highway and you see a trucker drive by and you're going, what? Then you got the Pit Boss. I'll only say this. That's exactly what it is. It's just a guy who loves pits. And I'm going to leave it at that. Again, trigger warnings. If you don't like it, you don't have to read it, but I would highly recommend it for somebody who likes extreme. This is definitely extreme, and very quick read. Then I also read another one called The Silent Patient. This one I've kept hearing about, everybody talking about, and I wanted to read it myself, and boy, did that hit home. It's about a lady who supposedly killed her husband and goes and becomes silent. She's so shocked and everything, she doesn't want to talk, and so this psychotherapist comes in and starts talking to her, and finally gets her to open up, and she starts talking about everything. Yet it kind of hit home because the girl that was going out having an affair with the guy, kind of like my ex, did the exact same thing. Tell me she's going out for the evening, going to work, coming home late. I mean really late, and but as you go through the story, you think you got it figured out until you get to the very last, and boy, you sit there and you go, what the? And it's a good one. It'll keep you on the edge of your seat, and the ending is absolutely fantastic. So I highly recommend The Silent Patient. Now another one I read was Mary. And Mary was one who was going to take care of her Aunt Nadine. And Aunt Nadine dies, and talks about a group of people who think that Mary is a reincarnation of another guy that was killed in the neighborhood area, and it just keeps you on the edge of your seat it kind of left me hanging a little bit on some parts, but then of course it answered it later. It's a very good read, but again, it's slow in places. So I gave it like 4 stars, but it was good, but it just wasn't up to my expectations. Now, the one I'm reading now that everybody's been talking about is Death of a Bookseller, and I want to finish this. It takes place in England in a bookstore, and all these people in the bookstore, all they're interested in is serial killers and their lives and who they killed and what happened to them and everything. I worked in bookstores all my life. In fact, that's how I started back in 1979. I worked in the bookstore, and I've been working with books ever since. This one, if anybody this way acted in my bookstore, they'd be out. I mean, they don't take care of their customers, and if they buy a book, they're always criticizing them for buying that particular book. So I'm not going to DNF this. I'm going to read it all the way through just to see what it's all about. So I'll do a review of this to find out exactly what it's about. So, Death of a Bookseller is supposed to be a breakthrough novel. I hope it gets better as it goes along, but I don't know. So far, I'm a quarter way through, and it just doesn't seem like it. So there you go. That's what I've been doing for the past week and a half. So I will catch up with you on the next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.